Hey, what's happening, all? It is Tuesday, the 30th, last day of the month. Always the craziest time for us. It's actually gotten a lot easier for me. Last day of the month used to be just maddening in my business. Now I got such an amazing team. They just handle it, right? So now I'm able to be here. It's a Tuesday. I'm able to get this recording done for you. Now, I may or may not be recording on Friday. I do have a surgery scheduled tomorrow. My shoulder, got to get that redone. I was hoping not to have to do that, but it's bad enough. I think we're going to get that handled. So we get that tomorrow, hopefully be out of surgery by late afternoon, and then possibly be able to pitch a recording out on Friday. But, well, more than likely not, because we're shut down for the holiday, so I don't have anybody to edit my mess and get this out to you. So unfortunately, this will be the only recording this week, I think. But wanted to just kind of give you guys an update. I'm getting a lot of awesome response from people. A lot of people giving me thoughts and prayers for mom, and they may be taking her off the tube today. They may be taking her off the ventilator today. That's at least that's what we're hearing in our most recent update. So that's freaking awesome. I just got to tell you, many people are saying that, they're offering, like I said, offered prayers and thoughts. So when I think about that, the one thing we have pure freedom is right here. Pure freedom is our mind. We have the ability to think and do whatever with our mind that we want. We can concentrate our thoughts on anything. And for so many people to give concentrated thought, taking the one free thing you've got that absolutely nobody can have control over and dedicating it to something like my mother is awesome. And you can't ever convince me that a large group of people with one concentrated thought is not going to be one extremely powerful thing. And then also those who offer prayer, whether you believe in God or you don't, I personally believe that for a person to take the time to present themselves at the feet of deity before the maker of this entire world in behalf of another is the absolute greatest thing that you can do for somebody else. The time that you get to share, to use for your mind and apply that towards communicating with God and then asking questions in behalf of another. I can't imagine any greater act of man other than, to lay down your life for another. And you see a different background here from my last video. I shot it from this particular area. Let me move a little bit. This was Sunday night. Me and my wife Rizzo sitting there watching the sun go down after I'd been there for that event. Did some interviews around the fire with some people when I get this YouTube channel launched. Did some rope rescue stuff with the fire department, the police department. Was able to interview the chief of police and his number two. Really great interview. I can't wait to get this launched. And then we just, that night, everybody left and it was just us left there. And we just spent the time. There's only so many of these sunsets that we're going to have in our life. Only so many times we're going to be able to share that. Find a really awesome place to have it. Find an awesome person to spend it with, and then seek them as often as you possibly can. That was a really, really good time. We spent a couple hours just sitting there and watching and talking. So it was really, really cool. And I appreciate those who have allowed me the time to do that. For my amazing staff and such amazing clients, everybody who's watching here and those people who refer me business, I wouldn't have this opportunity. I'd be working my guts out all the time just to make ends meet. And here I have the blessing to do this. So I'm going to share that with you. I had the opportunity to experience that sunset, sharing that with you. So I've had a couple questions come up that I wanted to address. There's a lot of questions that are coming. So I'm actually putting together a lot of content based on that. So let's talk about the market real quick here. Let's get into that, because I did have a question come up about what is there a site we can go to see rates? Well, there really isn't for real estate investors. There is a site out there that shows the interest rates for people buying homes to live in. That's always out there, because that's 99% of the business. I'm probably off with that statistic. Well, let me go back to something else I was off with. Go back a few episodes. We were talking about the Fed, where I showed that Twitter, and there was the individual that said, hey, the Fed's not going to stop printing money until the billionaires become trillionaires. And then they saw that one Twitter claiming to be Jerome Powell said, hey, you stole my script. Well, I clicked on that as I'm filling that out, and then I went back and looks like that's not Jerome Powell. It's somebody else that pretending to be, right? But think about this, is that really an error in that statement? So I have to correct that. I didn't figure that out until right after, because I clicked on that Twitter thing. All I did was see the original post. When I clicked on it, opened up the whole feed while I was doing the episode there. I read that. I'm like, wow, did I just see that? So that just had to correct that. So let's go back into this. So we have a website that posts the rates for people buying homes to live in. Well, they're going to show, like today, I've had a lot of people in the last week say, hey, rates just went down. What's my rate now? Even people that were locked. That part really gets me. When people say, well, they're locked, and they're like, well, the rates just went down. So what can I get now? It's like, well, you're locked. You want to be locked, you're locked. Well, the rates did go down for people buying homes to live in. Look right here. Look, this is where the market is at a lower point, and it's slowly been working its way to a little bit better spot. That little better spot in the market is reflecting a better interest rate as you go. So if you're seeing in the news, rates are getting better, of course they're getting better in mortgages because they're focusing on where is the majority of loans getting done for people buying houses to live in, not for real estate investors. Now look at the difference. So this is going up, meaning rates are getting a slightly better as there's more money going into those mortgage-backed securities pools. We're almost even with the highest point we've been, period, right? Just in that respect. Now let's go to where we're tracking things for real estate investors. It's going to be different. It's not the same coupon. Money is being allocated to different coupons for different purposes, right? You have a different place where they're going to put it based upon where they believe they're going to get their best return. Well, look at where we're at our highest point during this whole situation. We're much lower. We're on a slow downward trend. Now we've flattened out in this channel, but we're at a slow trend downward and slightly below the average. So rates for people buying homes are going to be different for real estate investors. So when you see a news story that says, hey, the rates just got better, just know they're not talking about the bond pools that we're looking at for real estate investors. They're looking at just rates that we're tracking for home buyers, because that's 90+% of the people using financing. So just know that when I say, hey, they haven't really gotten better, that I'm not lying to you. There's a reason why. Even look at the 4% coupon. Same thing. The 3.5, the 4, and the 4.5 are trending a very similar direction, opposite direction of where the 2.5 is, where most people are getting the money to buy houses to live in. So take a look at that. The 4%. This is going to be your higher side of things for your 20% down 30-year fixes. But look, they took a little bit more of a hit too. So just, you can't listen to what the news says or bankrate.com or anything like that and try and translate it to real estate investors. This is why. So another thing that I did see a couple times in the last week or so, because I check in with people to see how things have gone with my team and if there's anything that we could do better. And there was one individual who said, hey, your processor, one of the processors keep asking for things over and over again. I'm like, well, tell me about it. And I got to finding out, wait a minute, they had a really unique scenario that it took a lot to get the data we needed to make it work. So it's not that they're making it sound like my team is just badgering the hell out of them. I get where you're coming from, and that's not what I want. I don't want anybody to feel that way. But at the same time, some of you guys have a really intricate situation. His particular scenario, this one was someone that was really had a lot of involvement in it because it was extremely extensive. And one little missing piece of data can cause problems. And we're using somebody else's money here. That mortgage-backed securities graph I just showed you, those charts, that's somebody else's money going in there. And they expect things to be used a certain way. Just like if you let your money out, you expect it to go for certain things. You expect to have a certain collateral. You expect a certain return, that the risk is limited. You're not in it to lose your money. Same thing. We're being told we have to document things a certain way. So just know when people are asking for documentation, there's a specific, for something specific, we absolutely have to get a certain way. And there's some jokes in the industry about how when you're dealing with clients, sometimes it gets a little out of hand on what they think they're documenting versus what you need. And I ran across this online, where another loan originator was commenting on his clients. He said, is Mercury in retrograde in the lending world for borrowers, or is it just mine? And he's commenting, you can read this here, back and forth between him and his client. His statement: I need the most recent month's bank statement to show your deposit clearing and updating your account balance. So meaning, if his balance was a little bit light and he just deposits his paycheck, we want to show a new balance, updated balance, shows you have more money available to you. Well, the borrower responds back, well, here's a mobile screenshot of the Netflix payment that debited from my account and of course has no name or account number on there, and thinking that's going to work. Of course, it doesn't work. Borrower second try. Here's a copy of the check I wrote to Comcast. It has my routing number on it. So that way, as I said, in the first statement, he didn't have any check number, right? Or didn't have any account number on it. So the loan originator goes back to him and says, hey, we don't have any information. Second try from the borrower is like, well, how about you look at my check? It has the routing number. Well, you can't tie the two together. They can be two different screenshots. Third try. Here's page 6 of 11. It shows the day before the deposit was made. Does that work? Of course, it doesn't work. It's only one page. We need to have the whole statement, right? And then borrower's fourth try. Here's my cousin's expired driver's license. Is that what you need? Then the borrower's testimony after closing is, the loan officer is a great guy, but the process was tedious and asked me to send stuff over and over again. Now that is an extreme situation, but I've actually seen that. It's crazy how that kind of thing works. Guys, we have to have certain things. Got to document a certain way. Open the communication up between you and your processor. It doesn't have to even be my processor. It doesn't have to be working with me. Anybody who's asking you for the documentation, understand why they need it. Take the time to understand what we're going through here, because ultimately we're trying to get you from point A to point B. We're trying to successfully close that deal. But we also have to meet requirements from the third party who put the money up, says you have to use it for certain things. If we don't document it, we can't fund it. And the last thing you want is us to be bugging you later on to get that information. Just know we're trying to honor two sides. You get your deal done, then honor the person who was willing to put the money up for your business. You're literally getting the business for somebody else's capital. Let's just get them what they want. And we'll do our best not to ask questions that are stupid. Everything you hate to give me, believe me, I hate to read. My team hates to read, but we're going to do it because that's going to help you get to where you need to go. So I appreciate you guys again. Thank you so much for the thoughts and the prayers. Mom's doing awesome, way better than they thought. We thought she'd be out for 2 weeks. She's awake right now, but she's still on the ventilator, which for me, that'd be miserable. I don't know how she's feeling. I wish I could be right there by her right now. But thank you for everything that you guys have done. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for the trust in the business. And we'll continue to keep doing what we do to help you and make sure that you're successful in your real estate investment business.